You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
Because of the following special program, Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file.
That doesn't sound too hard.
Boom! This is Making Tracks.
This is the way.
Here are your hosts, Mark Newbold and Mark Mulcaster.
I know these people. They are brutal. Does this look Jedi to you?
That's not how the Force works.
They'll never see it coming.
Count me in.
Mr. Back!
You're listening to Making Tracks, and a very special episode as I travel down to London and the Dorchester in Mayfair for a very special Propstore event. Stephen Lane and Brandon Allinger brought the original Darth Vader lightsaber hilt used in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi to the Dorchester for a select amount of people to see it, view it, and in some cases handle it. It was an amazing event. There was other incredible artefacts there as well. There was Indiana Jones's bullwhip from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. There was Sauron's mask from Lord of the Rings, Barbarella's costume from the classic Jane Fonda film of the 1960s, and more besides. But of course, our focus was on that Darth Vader lightsaber hilt. So to kick this mini episode of Making Tracks off, here's myself and Stephen Lane chatting about this incredible auction coming up on the 4th to the 6th of September 2025 in Los Angeles. So we're here at the Dorchester.
We are.
We've just had this amazing preview of Darth Vader's lightsaber from Empire and Jedi. Tell us right now, how are you feeling? Because that was a bit special.
Oh, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, really exciting. And I think it's just the energy in the room that we're sort of all just engaging with. You can just feel the excitement from everybody who's sort of seeing it for the first time. Of course, it's the first time that sabre has been banned back in the UK for 43 years since production completed. So it's sort of come home to the UK, but just for a brief time before it continues on its tour to Los Angeles and New York.
What prompted you to do this event?
Well, we felt that the collection that we've curated for this particular auction, which takes place on September the 4th through the 6th, so it's a 3-day auction, 1,000 lots, but it was just the calibre of the content that we'd managed to pull together, that we'd managed to locate, really dictated that we wanted to elevate and just really recognise the significance of what we had. Yeah, we're very, very lucky at Propstore that we get to handle some of these treasures, some of these artefacts, but unfortunately, in most instances, it's only for a very fleeting period of time.
Yeah.
And so we want to capitalise on that, make the most of it, enjoy it ourselves, record it as best we can, but also share it. You know, it's about explaining and educating to people that artefacts like this do exist, that they are accessible. Perhaps is not quite the right word when we're talking about something that's 1 to 3 million as an estimate dollars, but you know, there's a lot in the auction that is accessible to the majority of people who want to and are passionate about collecting these sort of things. So I think it was a combination of everything, really.
You say accessibility in the sense that we get to see it, and
yes.
You know, Brandon just took it out of the case, and we had a good close-up look. And you've got big media here, you've got BBC, ITV, all these guys that are sort of very interested in looking at it and asking us as fans the question, why is this particular piece so important? I know you're a fan. So
I saw you being interviewed, yeah. It's great, man, I love that.
I try. But it's very interesting to sort of put your finger on why that piece is not worthy of such attention, but why is that a piece that would grab so much attention?
Well, look, I think first of all we have to recognise that there were only 2 hero lightsabers made for those films. One of them has been in private hands for a number of years, has been known about, it's recognised that it's out there. This particular sabre has been lost for decades. You know, it hasn't surfaced in over 40 years. And with a lot of production artefacts from this sort of era, there was just a massive amount of attrition. A lot of things that just got thrown away, given away, handed across to people. The people who ended up with it didn't realise the significance of it. And so I think it's just such a special moment to have the reveal that this thing even exists. You know, a lot of people ask me, what's on your hit list? What is it you want to chase down? What are you out there looking for? And that, you know, the short answer is anything that's interesting, anything that's exciting. But in a lot of instances, we don't even know that this stuff exists in the first place to go looking for it. You know, nobody's heard about this lightsaber for over 40 years.
So it came completely out of the blue?
Completely out of the blue. And if there are only two used in the film, and the lightsaber is probably the most recognisable film prop, maybe of all time, but certainly to any Star Wars fan, they're going to recognise Darth Vader's lightsaber. You couple that with the fact that it's the visual effects hero, so it has the rod that sticks out the end of it, which would have been attached to a wooden dowel or maybe a carbon fibre dowel or something like that, painted or with 3M tape on it. It's used for all those pivotal fighting scenes, those dueling scenes. I mean, this is the dueling saber between Vader and between Luke, between father, between son, between good versus evil. You know, this is the crux of what those films were all about. And so I think that's what makes this so incredibly exciting. I mean, literally hairs on the back of the neck.
And the auction itself, I mean, we've seen videos. Adam Savage had a good look at it, Connie King had a good look at it, the guys have shared their information as a lot of us sites have. What are your hopes for the auction now? Because the profile for Propstore, quite apart from the fact the profile for Propstore has gone up, people now are aware. You mentioned accessibility, it's something that you dream of the attic find of whatever it might be rolling up on your doorstep. Is this a help for you as a company as well, for the profile of Propstore?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I think you could argue that about any sale that we do, large or small. You know, the beauty of the materials that we work with is that they appeal to such a cross-section of collectors, and so for a Batman collector, they will probably have no interest in the Empire Strikes Back lightsaber, but they're going to love the fact that we've got Bat gadgets and Batman model miniatures and Michael Keaton's suit from Batman. And so we're constantly offering content that goes to different communities, that speaks to different communities, that speaks to different collectors. And we're constantly growing and evolving that database and raising the awareness that you can actually own an original proper costume from one of your favourite films or TV shows. But yeah, look, a piece like this that gets that sort of level of headline news certainly elevates the brand further. But you know, I've been in business for 27 years now. I've been collecting for over 30 years. I've been doing this a long time, and I'd like to think that the brand is out there and has become recognised as the gold standard for authenticity for this type of material, and that ultimately that gives buyers the confidence when they come and buy from Propstore. It gives sellers the confidence that we're going to do this work that we do to promote and bring that awareness, the campaign that we build around the artifacts. And so it sort of all rolls together, it all ties together. But you know, this year alone, this calendar year, we're doing 24 different auctions throughout the year. And so we have a constant rolling of content being offered to collectors.
That's fantastic. It's been a treat for us to come and see this. It really has.
It's been great having you here as well, man. You've got to come and see this, haven't you, while it's here?
Oh, absolutely. This, like you say, this doesn't happen every day, does it? It's a special
once in 43 years, apparently.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds, bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
So after things had died down a little bit, I took the opportunity to have a quick chat with Jamie Benning. You'll know Jamie from the Filmumentaries podcast. He's also a fellow writer on ILM.com and SkywalkerSound.com. So here's me and Jamie chatting about this incredible day that we just had. So we're sharing a glass of still water in the Dorchester. We've just been in for the preview of the Darth Vader lightsaber. I'm here with Jamie. What did you make of that?
It's just one of those props, isn't it, that is so iconic. I was chatting to Stephen and Brandon at Propstore, and I was just talking about, you've got the ruby slippers, yes, you've got recently the sled from Citizen Kane, but the lightsaber seems to signify so much more to the current generations, if you like. I mean, we're talking 50 years of Star Wars coming up soon, and this lightsaber is from Empire and Jedi. There's nothing that's more culturally impactful than the lightsaber in Star Wars, I don't think. Yes, we've had props sell like the X-Wing. Yeah. We've had helmets, Darth Vader helmets sell recently. But every kid can wave a stick around and make a noise.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the noise.
No.
And pretend they're in Star Wars. And even people, that 2/3 of the world that have not seen a Star Wars movie, apparently, these crazy people,
I don't get that.
they probably still know what a lightsaber is.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably going to go way beyond the estimates that Propstore have in mind.
I mean, you look at the estimate and it's a hefty estimate, but as you say, when you look at it, the history that's wrapped up just in that saber, just from what they did in Empire and Jedi, and the people whose hands that would have passed through, and goodness knows where it's been for the last 43 years.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and you can see it's been bashed about. It's like an old classic Porsche with a proper patina on it. Bob Anderson's had his hands on it, Prowser's had his hands on it.
Yeah.
Peter Diamond probably, and it's certainly had a life.
It has had a life. And do you think that definitely adds to the mystique and the allure of it, because it's from Empire, because it was used again in Jedi and then disappeared. I mean, from what Stephen said, it was a total surprise when this thing turns up in the lots, and all of a sudden they identify, my God, that's that saber.
It's crazy. Like every time they do one of these auctions, I think, well, that's got to be everything now. What else are they going to find? But there's always somebody who doesn't understand necessarily the significance of an item they have. Whether it's a Princess Leia's ceremony dress being in a loft and being used for fancy dress, or there was the Mary Poppins bag that I think was won in a competition. They just used it to travel with for years. I want to know who this person is who doesn't understand the significance of a lightsaber, but amazing that it's appeared out of nowhere. And you can see, in Brandon's face and Stephen's face, just the delight which is something like this appearing has for them, because they love what they do, and there's just something so amazing about this item. It's sat there in this glass case that we've just seen in the other room. And it's almost like we're just sort of worshipping that item. And that's what prop collecting is, I think, for these people who can afford this stuff, is they want to get closer to the film. Yeah. They want to feel like they're part of it. For me and you, it's buying a poster, or it's going to Celebration, or it's buying a Hasbro lightsaber, perhaps. I don't have a lightsaber, by the way, so if my wife is listening to this, there is a lightsaber-shaped hole in my life. I've never had one.
Of course she's listening.
So, I just think it's pretty amazing that this stuff is still turning up, and I'm thinking it's going to go... If an X-Wing can go for $2.5 million, and Citizen Kane Sled can go for, 13 million? Yes. 12 or 13 million? Yeah. I think this has got to be up in the 6 to 8 to 10 even, because... You think about the potential buyers for this. Could George buy it back? Could the Academy Museum buy it? Could somebody donate it to either of those places? We've got a lot of billionaires in the world now.
That's true, increasingly.
Yes, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. This is something that I'm gonna watch live.
Yeah, I think I might as well. And just on that, the fact that we've just been in the room, we've seen it, the unveiling of it, taking it out not the box, but taking it out the cabinet, showing it around. We've been quite privileged this year. We've had the BFI screening of Star Wars, and just a few weeks later, a couple of months later, we're back down and we see this. We're rocketing towards the 50th. It feels like we're getting some nice treats lately, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's been quite a few sort of pinch me moments in the last couple of years with regards to what I'm doing with the podcast and stuff. And I just got this invite from Brandon at Propstore to come down, and finally met him in person, having known about him for years and had a few Zoom calls and things over time. But it's nice that, as you say, we're approaching the 50th. Things feel like they're ramping up towards something pretty special. That screening with Kathleen Kennedy turning up, I was aware of that stuff like weeks out, because obviously I was involved in that panel as well. But there was still doubt, even within the four walls of the BFI. Is this going to be the original film?
Yeah.
And let's cross our fingers firmly that we do get a release one day of that, because I think there is an audience, and at the end of the day, business is business. I think Lucasfilm know that there's an audience there, and if you're not going to do it for the 50th, when are you going to do it for?
That's a very good point.
And then, of course, we've got the LA celebration. Yeah. That could be pretty big. It could be the last time that many of those people get together. I think it's going to be a special event.
And of course, you're missing the biggest celebration of them all, 2028, November, holiday special. I mean, that's the one we're really going for, isn't it?
We're all still waiting for that box set, Mark. Yeah. I remember the mock-ups years ago that somebody did.
The mock set?
Yeah. So, that would be great to see. I mean, at the moment, the doco is as close as we're going to get to it. But yeah, who knows? I mean, if there's an audience for it, if it's going to create, if it's going to generate interest, I think there's always potential that these things could happen.
Get it out there. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Mark.
Email radio@fanthatracks.com. Head to links.fanthatracks.com for links to our social media feeds, Fantha Tracks TV and Fantha Tracks Radio. Thanks to James Semple for the Fantha Tracks intro, Blues Harvest for our Making Tracks opening music, and Mark Daniel and Vanessa Marshall for our voiceovers. New episodes drop Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 o'clock UK time. Our weekly news show Good Morning Tatooine goes live Sundays at 9 o'clock UK time on Facebook and YouTube. And remember, Fantha Tracks is absolutely free, so it costs nothing to stay updated on all the latest Star Wars news. Thanks for listening. We'll be back very soon with a regular episode of Making Tracks. See you all soon.
Coming up next on Fantha Tracks Radio, it's another episode of Making Tracks.